What's up, everybody? This is a real good passage of scripture to look at. John 16:27. Jesus says that the Father, the Father has loved you because you have loved me and believed that I came out from God. Who's the God that he's talking about? That he came out from? The Father, right? So he's not claiming to be a second with the same thing. Now, if Trinitarian view was right, then he would have already had his own substance of being, and he would have been amongst the Father. Separated, in other words. The Father would have been his own, and he would have been his own. And it would have been two of them, at least. I'm not even dealing with this third one that they believe in. I'm just dealing with the second that they believe in. This so-called God the Son. If there was a God the Son, then he would not have come out of the Father. He would have already been out, existing as his own substance of being, and it would have just been another one like the Father. The problem is the Father said, "To whom shall you liken me? To whom shall you compare me that we may be alike?" Isaiah 40 and 25. And also 45 and I think verse 6. So according to scripture, the Father didn't have someone else like him. No mini-me's in heaven. And that's not what Jesus is claiming to be. He's not claiming to be a mini-me. He's not claiming to be another one like the Father with the same thing. Neither did his disciples believe that he was another one. But according to the statement of Jesus, they believed that he came out from the Father. From the very Father. If he came out from the very Father, then you can't get someone else out of that. If he came out from the very Father, then his substance of being, talking about his spirit substance of being, could only be the Father's spirit substance of being. Because he came out from the very Father. And that is who he's identifying as God. So he's not saying he's a second. He's saying that he came out of the first one. The first and only. Do you see? So the substance of spirit, when it comes to Jesus, that would be the Father's substance of being. Not a second in the Godhead. Not another one like the Father. But his substance of being is that which is of the very Father's own self, or the Father's own spirit. And that's what he is. Do you see? So his spirit can only be that which is the Father's substance of spirit. Which means that he consists of the one God, not a second. Because his substance of being, his spirit, the Word, proceeded from the very God, or from the very one God. and therefore can only be of the same person. So this would be part of the Father's own self. For example, if someone is made out of me, and there's nobody else involved, just me, and you're using me to make someone else, then whoever else you make, if you make that person out of me, then you can't get another person if you're just using me to make that person. Because everything that that person consists of would be my own substance of being. Now, if you got me and someone else, and you make another person, then you have some of me, and then you have some of that someone else. So that person would not be just like me. But if you just have me and me alone, and my substance of being is what is used to make that individual, then that individual is made up of my very own substance, which would mean that it's not someone else, it would actually be my own spirit that this person is functioning based on. Likewise, the Son of God, y'all. He came directly from the Father. Just read it. He's telling you that he came out of the Father, not from amongst the Father. That's the problem, where I think a lot of people are deceived into thinking there's a second one, because they think he came from amongst the Father, as in the Father is already out there in his own, on his own, and then there's someone else who's already out there outside of the Father. That's not what he said. He didn't say he came from outside of the Father, or from amongst the Father, or from the Father's company. If he came from the Father's company or from amongst the Father, then that argument would work. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying he came from the very Father. He came from God. Out from God. Out. So there's the one God that he's identifying as the Father, and then he's saying he came out from that Father. Again, he's only identifying the Father as God, and then he's saying he came out from that God. So he's not another. He's of the same substance of the Father's own self. So his spirit is not the spirit of another who's similar to the Father. No, his spirit is out of the Father's own spirit. That's why the word that was with God was God. And not a mini-me. Do you see? And this is what his disciples believed, according to his statement, that he came out from God the Father. So they didn't believe that he was a second one in the Godhead with the same thing and came from amongst God. But his statement is that he came from the very Father, and that his disciples believed that he came from or out of the very Father, which shows that who they believed that his spirit was, or his substance of spirit, they believed that that was the Father's substance of spirit, the one God substance of spirit. Not a second. So there you have it, y'all. So the Son of God is made up of the Father's own self, incarnate in flesh. It is the combination of the Father's substance of spirit mixed with body. And that's the Son of God. There you have it, y'all. Peace.